Have you ever had something taken away that you thought you'd never get back? For me, it was driving. Before my stroke, I never thought twice about getting behind the wheel. Driving was just part of everyday life. It gave me freedom, it allowed me to work, visit family, and go wherever I needed. Then, in 2020, everything changed. After my stroke, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat. Driving wasn't even on my mind. At that point, my only goal was survival. Every day was filled with doctor appointments, therapy sessions, and learning how to do basic things all over again. When you're recovering from a stroke, even getting out of bed can feel like climbing a mountain. The idea of driving a car again seemed impossible. There were moments when I wondered if that chapter of my life had ended forever. I knew driving wasn't just about turning a steering wheel. It required strength, coordination, quick thinking, confidence, all the things my stroke had affected. For a long time, I wasn't sure if I'd ever have those abilities again. But one thing I refused to do was quit. Every day, I focused on getting a little stronger. Some days I made progress. Some days I didn't. Recovery isn't a straight line. There are good days, there are frustrating days, and there are days when you wonder if all your hard work is making any difference. But those small victories begin to add up. Eventually, I started believing that maybe, just maybe, I could drive again. The first time I sat in the driver's seat after my stroke, I felt every emotion imaginable. Fear, excitement, hope, and uncertainty. It had been so long that everything felt unfamiliar. Something I had done thousands of times suddenly required complete concentration. I didn't rush, I took my time, I listened to my body. I listened to the advice of my doctors and therapists. And I practiced carefully. Every short drive built a little more confidence. Every successful trip reminded me that recovery was possible. Driving wasn't just about getting from one place to another anymore. It became proof that healing was happening. It became proof that my stroke didn't get the final say. Eventually, I regained enough confidence to drive on my own. That was one of the greatest victories of my recovery. But God wasn't finished writing my story. Not long afterward, a new opportunity came into my life. I decided to become an Uber and Lyft driver. Some people thought I was crazy. After everything I'd been through, why would I choose a job that involved driving every day? Because I saw it differently. Driving wasn't just work, it was a gift. Every passenger who got into my car reminded me how far I'd come. 3 years earlier, I couldn't walk, I couldn't speak, I couldn't eat. Now, I was driving people safely to their destinations. Only God could have written a story like that. Over the past 3 years, I've met thousands of people. Every ride has been different. Some passengers have made me laugh until my stomach hurt. Some have shared heartbreaking stories. Others have encouraged me without even realizing it. Driving for Uber and Lyft has shown me something important. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. The businessman rushing to the airport. The college student going home. The mother taking her child to school. The elderly passenger visiting a doctor. Every person has a story. Just like I do. Many passengers have no idea that the man driving them once couldn't even hold a conversation. They don't know I survived a devastating stroke. They simply see another Uber driver. And that's okay, because every mile I drive reminds me of how faithful God has been. Looking back now, I realize that learning to drive again wasn't just about driving. It was about believing in myself again. It was about refusing to let fear control my future. It was about trusting God one step at a time. If you're recovering from a stroke, or facing any challenge that feels impossible, please don't lose hope. Your progress may be slow. Your journey may be difficult. But difficult doesn't mean impossible. Celebrate every small victory. The first step, the first word, the first meal, the first drive. Those moments become milestones you'll never forget. Today, I'm thankful for every mile I drive. Not because driving is exciting, but because every mile reminds me of where I started. The stroke changed my life. But it didn't end my life. God gave me another chance. And I'm determined to make the most of it. Thank you for taking this journey with me. If my story has encouraged you today, I hope you'll subscribe and join me as I continue sharing my recovery, my faith, my Uber and Lyft adventures, and the lessons I've learned along the way. And remember, no matter how impossible your situation seems today, never stop believing that tomorrow can be better.